You want to become a flight attendant in Canada. You see that a lot of colleges offer flight attendant diplomas or in-flight service courses. Should you take these courses and get these diplomas? Will it help your chances of getting hired by an airline in Canada? Do airlines care? Welcome back to Canadian French for Flight Attendants. If you're finding this series useful, consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and following. We'd appreciate it so much. The short answer to these questions: no, your time and money are better spent elsewhere. These college courses provide generic flight attendant training, and a flight attendant diploma will not give you any advantage for getting hired by an airline. If an airline does hire you based on other factors, they will put you through their own specific flight attendant training, which you still must pass, even if you've taken external flight attendant courses. Let's take a look at what these external flight attendant courses teach you. At this flight attendant school in Calgary, they have courses for those wishing to work for regional carriers, for national/international airlines, and for wide-body carriers. They teach things like flight attendant manuals, personal grooming and uniform standards, check-in duties for when you start a shift at an airport, pre-flight airplane safety equipment checks, passengers requiring special needs, carry-on baggage and animals, use of electronic devices, passenger announcements, passenger briefings, takeoff procedures, in-flight service, turbulence procedures, depressurization procedures, medical issues on board, firefighting, emergency landing procedures, evacuation procedures and post-evacuation duties, time zones, and airport and airline codes. For extra money, they also offer supplementary courses such as how to become a flight attendant, interference with crew members, advanced customer service and leadership, one-on-one mentorship programs, dangerous goods handling, safe food handling, and aircraft-specific courses. Seems pretty comprehensive, right? But guess what? If a major airline hires you as a flight attendant, they'll put you through their own training course, where they pay you and teach you all this information and more, but specific to the airline and their aircraft. The airline's training will be done to Transport Canada Standards, the branch of government that regulates air travel in Canada. And you still must pass it before you're allowed to fly for the airline. So why pay someone else to learn this when the airline will pay you to teach you the exact same thing if they hire you? But you may be asking, are airlines more likely to hire me if I take these external flight attendant courses and get a diploma? The answer is still no. And the proof? There's no need to search far and wide for what airlines look for in a strong flight attendant applicant. The proof is right there on their job postings. No major airline mentions that you need an external flight attendant diploma to apply. And none of them say that having one will give you any advantage over the other candidates. Some even tell you outright that no previous formal training is required, and if hired, they provide all the training. They do state explicitly what they're looking for in a strong flight attendant applicant. Things like customer service and problem-solving skills, of course, but all job postings state that language and French skills are what will really make you stand out from the other applicants. That being said, if you do take external flight attendant courses, you will learn a bit about what the aviation industry is like. Then if you get hired by an airline, you might see that the airline's flight attendant training is similar to the content taught in your external courses, offering you a bit more familiarity. Also, our information pertains to airlines in Canada, who simply do not care if you have an external flight attendant college diploma and will not give you any special consideration over the other candidates. But airlines in other countries might. As always, read their flight attendant job postings to see if a flight attendant diploma is helpful. All in all, for aspiring flight attendants in Canada, your money and time are better spent learning another language, namely French, one of Canada's 2 official languages, the native language of about 20% of Canadians, and the most sought-after language after English in flight attendant applicants at all Canadian airlines. Of course, we here at Canadian French for Flight Attendants offer a French course designed specifically for current and aspiring flight attendants, and this is our earnest attempt at giving you our objective, unbiased opinion on external flight attendant courses and diplomas. But take a look at the advice of actual working flight attendants, including flight attendant recruiters, managers, and trainers at various Canadian airlines on the Facebook group Flight Attendant Canada. The question, will it help me get hired if I take a flight attendant college course and get a flight attendant diploma? Comes up fairly often. So let's take a look at some highly rated answers. A few have taken external courses, and when they got hired by an airline, they did feel more familiar with the contents of the airline's own training program. But they themselves say that the external courses were not necessary, that the airlines did not prioritize applicants who've taken them, and doubt that the courses helped them get hired. Some even say that it was a waste of their money. In fact, amongst working flight attendants, one of the most common opinions about external flight attendant courses is that they are a waste of time and money. Some even go so far as to say that they are a scam. They say that they are useless because a diploma is not required to apply to become a flight attendant at their airline. Airlines do not prioritize those with diplomas at all. It doesn't give you any advantage whatsoever over the other applicants. This person even says that the unfortunate reality of those who go to flight attendant school is that very few get hired by airlines, and even fewer manage to stay with the airline. The airlines will pay you to train you themselves to Transport Canada's standards if they hire you. Many airlines won't hire those who've taken external flight attendant courses, as it's annoying to make you unlearn any generic information you learned there in order to teach you airline-specific information. This former airline flight attendant instructor says that they prefer a fresh memory. Most working flight attendants today never got a flight attendant diploma and don't even know any other flight attendants who did. This person has been a flight attendant for 41 years and has never worked with another flight attendant who took external flight attendant courses before getting hired. Some posters knew others who took flight attendant courses, but they never got hired. In some initial hire classes, the only person that did not pass the airline's flight attendant training, or got fired, was ironically the only person who took external flight attendant courses. Your time and money are better spent learning another language, which will help you get an interview and get hired much more, especially French, as official bilingualism is very important to Canadian airlines, and having French will most certainly prioritize your application. And I, as a flight attendant at a major airline in Canada for over a decade, echo the opinions of these other flight attendants. I never took external flight attendant courses and was hired specifically parce que je parle français. I got interviewed very shortly after I applied. My French was tested immediately during the interview process. All of my initial hire classmates spoke French. And I, to this day, in my 10+ years of flying, have never come across another flight attendant from any Canadian airline who has taken an external flight attendant course before getting hired. Flight attendant job postings tell you exactly what they're looking for in a strong flight attendant applicant. So I hope you have a better idea of where you should spend your time and resources. Thanks so much for watching. Comment below with any questions or suggestions. See you soon, and have a great day wherever your travels may take you.